Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. We have a major bombshell today from Kari Lake that you do not want to miss. She actually destroyed this CNN host and totally obliterated her on live television. Now, Kari Lake was actually chosen by Donald J. Trump to be the voice, the leader of the Voice of America, which is actually going to be the new media in America, and it's going to surpass a lot of the other mainstream media websites and shows that you see. So that's a really powerful role for her. Obviously, she lost against Ruben Gallego, that Trump hater, that man who called Trump supporters dumb and stupid, and he is going to be the new senator in Arizona. Obviously, we love to see unity and peace from the Democrats, right? So let's bring on Kari Lake. She just destroyed CNN host Caitlin Collins. You guys don't want to miss this one. Here we go.
On the changing your positions,
really
I question you on that because
Caitlin, I was just in New York City. I believe that's where you are broadcasting live from tonight. The streets aren't safe anymore. The subways aren't safe anymore. I care about.
I take the subway all the time. It is safe, but I want to get back to focusing on you because on the question here and the question that we're talking about when it comes to you and your positions, I just wonder because you have changed your positions on many issues. When it comes to that 1864 abortion law, when it comes to early voting, you used to oppose early voting. You voted early in this election. When it comes to courting McCain Republicans in your state, you once told them, to leave an event of yours, to get the hell out was the phrase you used. You later said you were joking. I mean, some people may look at that and say, well, this is a candidate who has changed her position on a lot of things that we're looking at.
I want to secure the border. I want a strong economy. I want schools that are teaching our kids lessons that actually help them get ahead. My opponent has done an extreme makeover. He's voted for open borders. He's voted against the border wall. He called Trump supporters dumb, and he called Trump supporters and Republicans the worst people in the world.
But I'm asking you about your positions.
I know, but I'm telling you, I'm about to explain this. He's also voted for defunding the police. He's done an extreme makeover. He came on your show and you never interrupted him once. And I'm here to tell you, we have a lot of issues as women we care about. I care deeply about the little boy who was possibly wearing this shoe when he crossed our border.
Wow, she actually has the shoe. That's crazy. Of course, Kari Lake comes with receipts.
Missing. I worry about where he is right now. I worry about the people who are sex trafficked into our country and across our border. And most importantly, one of the most important issues I worry about is the weapon of mass destruction pouring across our border. It's called fentanyl, and it's killing about 100,000 young people about your age every year. I'm worried about your generation. I have kids that are probably about your age, and they've told me, my son just came home from college the other day, and he said, Mom, I don't think that we'll ever be able to afford a home in our generation because the housing prices have soared, especially in the past 4 years. They've gone up.
Yeah, and a lot of people are worried about housing prices. A lot of people are worried about fentanyl, and I should know most of it comes through legal ports of entry.
Yeah, and house prices are going to go down when Trump becomes president.
But Kari, on your race,
21 million people here,
and then on your race in and of itself. When I was talking about your positions on those key issues that also matter, obviously, abortion is also going to be a big one, in addition to the economy and immigration in your state. On your race itself, have you changed your position on whether you lost the 2022 election for governor?
Wow, Caitlin Collins is just absolutely just low-blowing against Kari Lake. Let's see how she responds.
First of all, I want to go back to a question you just answered. I have not changed my position on early voting. We have to vote for the entire season.
You voted early after you've criticized it previously.
I did vote early. And I plan to, my husband plans to vote early. My daughter voted early. My son will be voting on election day. I've never changed my position. I've always said vote however you're comfortable. I do wish we had election day, but we don't. So we have to vote in that way. And we're going to make sure that we get everybody out to vote. And if you look at the stats, I don't know if you've covered this yet, because
Kari Lake, remember, she's a former news anchor, so she is calling out Caitlin to her face.
Doesn't go in the Democrats' direction, but we are seeing a huge turnout right now in Republicans voting early. It's incredible what we're seeing here on the ground.
But I'm asking you about the turnout in 2022. Did you lose the 2022 election for governor?
Why are we looking backward? I'm looking forward, Caitlin.
Because
I already
you've
know
yet
what
to
your
concede
head.
that race.
Caitlin, I'm looking forward to what is coming up. I'm looking forward to November 5th and this huge election. And the people of our state are caring about what's coming up, what's going forward. How are we going to make sure we secure the border? What can we as Republicans do to make sure we bring back that thriving economy where we had record low unemployment?
So you're not going to say whether or not you lost the 2022 race. Is that what I'm hearing?
You know what, Caitlin? You've seen thousands of interviews from me. I've answered that a million times. I'm looking forward.
You've actually yet to answer the question directly on whether you believe that you did lose the election.
Well, I want to make sure our elections are run properly, and I'm still in litigation.
100%, they should be. They should be.
So I don't want to speak to that, but I do want to look forward. And it's so funny that the media, Caitlin, hold up. The media can't get over it.
Yeah.
You say I can't get over it, and it looks like you can't.
I don't think I said that. I just said you haven't conceded the race. And I know you mentioned your litigation. You filed multiple lawsuits. Have any of those lawsuits been successful?
Hold up, Caitlin. We've had 10 questions probably, and you've had all of them being about elections or abortion. And while those are big issues, I care about them. You've asked 0 questions about inflation and the cost of living. In Arizona, we can't afford to live anymore. We have the fastest growing rent prices in the country in 3 of our cities.
So you're not going to answer the question about whether or not you lost the election?
I'm actually thinking you meant to ask me about the issues that people cared about.
Oh my gosh, Kari Lake is totally destroying Caitlin. She's totally taking over this interview. I love that.
And people care about our wide open border. They care that 21 million people have poured in to your city, to my city, all across this country.
Do you think people care if you're willing to accept the results of an election that was free and fair and that you filed multiple lawsuits that have not gone anywhere? And I should note, a defamation lawsuit that was filed against you, you did not contest it, from a top Arizona election official that says you lied about him repeatedly.
Wow.
I think what you meant to ask is Kari, things are really tough right now. And I know
These
that
are the
people that are
questions I meant to ask
tonight,
with all due respect. I'm conducting this interview, but you're not answering those questions. And if that's your answer, that's fine. I just wanted to follow up on that.
Damn.
I think what you meant to ask is how can we get through this difficult time where people are pouring across our border and people can't afford to live right now? I know that you're probably doing okay. You probably have a pretty good salary. I once sat in a chair like you did.
Caitlin Collins getting destroyed on TV, guys.
But people are really struggling right now. I've talked to so many parents, dozens of parents who've lost somebody about your age or younger, a child from fentanyl. They're no longer willing to have our border be wide open. I'm glad you asked about the election. I'm looking forward to November 5th. We're seeing a huge turnout in voters here in Arizona, Democrats, Independents.
Can I ask you, in that race, when you look at the numbers in your state, Donald Trump is running ahead of Vice President Harris in that state. You're running behind Ruben Gallego by a few points according to the numbers. We'll see if they bear out. Of course, it's polling. But why do you think that is? Why do you think there are supporters who say that, voters that say they want to support Donald Trump, but also Ruben Gallego over you?
I don't really think those voters exist. I actually look at the good polling, our internal polling, which shows I'm ahead a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it was actually very strange. The Arizona Senate race results. So let's pull these up. So let's take a look at these numbers here. And then I also want to take a look also at the USA Electoral College map for 2024, particularly in Arizona. So take a look at these numbers here. Let's start with Ruben Gallego and Kari Lake. Kari Lake got 1.595 million. Ruben Gallego got 1.67. However, if we take a look at Kamala Harris, she only got 1.58. So Kari Lake actually got more votes than Kamala Harris in Arizona. However, Ruben Gallego got way more than Kari Lake, but Donald Trump got the most out of everyone, which means we can, show that a lot of people showed up in Arizona and voted for both Donald Trump and Ruben Gallego, which is very weird because Ruben Gallego actually called Trump supporters some of the worst people in the world. Did you guys hear this?
I think Donald Trump ran a xenophobic campaign that drew out some of the, worst people in the world that we are just not going to appeal to, and we're never going to.
And then not only that, but he also called them dumb.
I think some people don't realize this, but this is reality now, and I'm going to do everything to protect them, even those that were dumb enough to vote for Donald Trump.
So if he's saying people dumb enough to vote for Donald Trump, and if you take a look at the people in Arizona, you have 1.77 million people who were quote unquote dumb enough to vote for Donald Trump. But those who were dumb enough to vote for Donald Trump, there were more people in Arizona who were dumb enough to vote for Donald Trump, as Ruben Gallego called them, more than they voted for him. So now you have this weird situation where Ruben Gallego, he's the senator in a state where he called more people that voted for him dumb. And what's the population? You might be asking, okay, Dylan, well, what is the population of Arizona, right? How many people? 7.43 million. You have 1.77 vote for Donald J. Trump, right? So you have 1.7 divided by 7.4. What's that number? 23%. Around 23% of just straight up people who live in Arizona. This is not, only registered voters. This is everyone in Arizona. You had almost a quarter of those people supported and voted for Donald J. Trump. And then you have Ruben Gallego now, who he called all those people dumb. So it's a very strange conundrum that we're in here. So anyways, major bombshell, major update today from Kari Lake, absolutely destroying Caitlin Collins, but at the same time, really interesting update with this election here that took place. Obviously Maricopa County was the biggest one, right? Maricopa County, the other counties as well. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts down below with Kari Lake. God bless. We'll talk soon. Bye now.